Good evening, y'all, and welcome back to my kitchen. I told y'all yesterday, and I gave you a little sneak peek, that I was going to be cooking in my brand new Emile Henry, it looks like Emile Henry, Tagine from style.I, but I got a good deal on mine from an individual, but they do sell them there. So traditionally, it's used in Moroccan cooking, and they usually cook chicken or lamb. They don't use beef and pork. But today I'm going to cook just a traditional southern recipe using the tagine to cook it tender and make all the flavors mesh together. So I'm going to cook a small chuck roast in it, but I'm going to use the same method of cooking that they use. They use a lot of saffron and coriander, and they use fruit in with their meat, and I may try a traditional chicken recipe using their actual recipe of the country. When you're there and you order and you want to order, you can order a tagine, and they said you order that in the morning and you come back that afternoon and they've got it prepared in this vessel. Here's the bottom of it, and it just looks like a red bowl, but then it has a cone-shaped top that sits on it. And what makes it cook so well, the moisture, the steam that goes up from the pot, this kind of seals when you put the lid on. The moisture just condensates and falls right back down in there, and it keeps this constant flow up. And when you get through cooking what's in there, the meat is just fall apart tender. So I'm anxious to get my roast done and see how it turns out. So I'm going to brown my roast, which when they do their chicken and all, they don't brown it. So I'm doing this southern style. I'm going to brown my roast, and I'm going to saute some onions down just a little bit, because they always put it on a bed of onions. And then I'll add the rest of my vegetables and season them. You only use like 1/4 to 1/2 cup of liquid, because it makes its own from the condensation and all that's going on inside the tagine. So I've seasoned my little roast with salt and pepper, dusted it with onion and garlic powder and a little flour, and I'm going to put it in the skillet and brown it. And y'all have seen me do that. And then I'm going to saute my onions in the tagine and let them get a little bit clear. Then I will put my vegetables, and I'm going to use carrots and potatoes and onions and garlic, of course. I'll put that in there, put the lid on it, and I'm going to let it cook just for a jiffy on low heat on the burner, and then I'm going to put it into the oven, 350 degrees. Now, if it were chicken, they said it would cook in a little over an hour probably. But because I'm doing beef, a roast, I'm going to let it cook, and it's kind of like a slow cooker. It'll be about 3 hours, and then we'll have a tender dish of meat and vegetables to enjoy. So let me get to the next step, and I will bring y'all over to the stove and show you what's going on. I decided to speed the process up a little bit, and I'm going to saute my onions in the skillet that I browned my roast in. And the reason, because I can only use low heat on my tagine dish here, and I want to get these done where I can get it cooking, because it's going to have to cook about 3 hours. And I don't want to starve to death before it gets done, so I'm going to hurry it up a little bit. I think my onions are ready, and I'm just going to put them over into the tagine. Spread them around. Now, I'm not sure the order that the proper way to cook one would be, but I'm going to add my meat next to the top of the onions. And I'm going to place my vegetables around, just like I would a pot roast is what I'm doing. And the little old potatoes have about oxidized a little bit on me. They've been out a little bit too long, waiting to get in their spot here. more potatoes. And I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper on them. For those that are new, this is a pepper grinder from style.I, and I absolutely love it because of the ratchet mechanism. Next, I'm going to add my garlic. And I'm using 4 cloves of garlic, but the thing is, this is going to be more like roasted garlic by the time this gets through cooking. So you're not going to get that hot bite of garlic that you would get. Also, I don't have any mushrooms, any fresh ones, but I do have Thrive, and they will rehydrate in the steam and all, so I'm going to add some Thrive mushrooms. That's the freeze-dried mushrooms that you can order from Thrive Life. I have done my own on my freeze dryer, but these are some that I ordered. Now I want to put a little bit of salt around on my vegetables. I've already salted the meat when I browned it. Okay, you don't use much liquid in here. I'm going to use 3/4. This is a 3.5 quart, I think, Tagine. I'm going to use, and I put a little bit of bouillon in there for some extra flavor. I'm going to use 3/4 of a cup of water. And that's what it looks like right now. So here's the, I'm going to put its little hat on it, put the lid on. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to get it in the oven at 350 and I'm going to let it cook for about 3 hours. And I'll bring y'all back and show you all the yumminess here in just a little bit. Okay, y'all, my tagine is done. It took 3 hours. My meat is not fall apart tender, but it is tender enough that you stick a fork in it, it breaks right off. And Troy's ready to eat, so I'm not going to cook it any longer. But you can't believe the smell. It smells so good in here. So let me get some plated up and I'll show y'all. Okay, here it is plated up. The meat and the carrots, the mushrooms, there's onions in there, potatoes. And let me just tell you, that meat is tender. I just broke me off a bite and tasted of it. I like my new toy. I sure do. Y'all know how I love to cook. And I love to try new things, and I'm just so excited when I get a new something that I've been wanting and it works like it's supposed to. I love this tagine. Now the next thing I'm going to cook, and I'll film it when I do, is some chicken, and I'm going to kind of try to do a true Moroccan recipe when I do that. But Troy and I are fixing to sit down and enjoy the fruit of my labor. We're going to have supper here in a minute and enjoy this. Y'all come right back here tomorrow and see what's new. I've got some good recipes coming. Some good treats for the holidays and some savory stuff for your Thanksgiving and Christmas table. Just stay tuned and come back every day. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. I know I do it every day, but what if I skip a day and you think, when is she coming back? That bell will let you know. I would appreciate that. Y'all keep your little recipe books going. A lot of you are telling me you're writing everything down and using a bunch of them. Some of you say you've used 90% of my recipes. That just makes my heart sing. That's what it's all about. I want y'all to learn how to cook. Just good old home cooking that just makes you happy when you sit down to eat it. So y'all keep trying the recipes and keep letting me know that you're trying. Keep sharing the channel with your friends and tell them to come subscribe and watch. And that'll be wonderful. That'll just tickle me to death. Put that food on the table. Turn those phones off and visit with your family. Make some plans for your Thanksgiving dinner. That's the next big thing coming up. If you plan enough ahead of time, you can buy your ingredients a little bit each week and the meal won't cost you so much at one time. The good Lord bless y'all, and I'll see you tomorrow.